Darian Fenton.
Mr Chair. Talofa. Well, it is my privilege to put forward the SOP in my name that would ensure that Northern Rodney is left out of the Super City by referring the northern boundary to the local government commission, a commission with specific instruction to exclude Northern Rodney. And I do so, Mr Chair, in the interest of democracy, and note with some irony that when this House is talking about democracy, it's only so if the government members agree with the proposition. And I heard Pansy Wong and the Honourable Morris Williamson talking about Howick earlier. But when it comes to the people of North Rodney, actually democracy counts for nothing. Nothing. And unfortunately, Mr Chair, the government has ignored the legitimate concerns of the people of Rodney, and Rodney have not had a fair say on this. They've done everything they can to get the government's attention on this issue, Mr Chair. This week, this Friday, there will be a slow-moving convoy protest of vehicles on State Highway 1 in the Rodney district. It will travel 18 kilometres from the Northern Gateway tunnels to the Kawhai Park in Warkworth, and it will be the people of North Rodney protesting. The former solid national supporters have supported John Key and his undemocratic, uncaring government. Now, it does bring to mind previous protests of the sort, when we had Mutual on the steps of Parliament protesting, and here we have, I think, similar members, but not protesting against the last government, but protesting against this government. And I think it's really, really interesting that there's a call growing throughout the country for a party to be established in opposition to National. A party to be established that will be called the Country Party. And I've met with farmers and other community members from Rodney. They're good people, Mr Chair, they're good people. And I understand why they're upset. Well, they have a right to be, because the decision-making around Rodney has been a real mess. They've been in the Super City, then out of the Super City, then in again. Well, the people of Rodney are really confused, but I have the utmost respect for the efforts that community has made to be heard by this government. When the Select Committee reported back on the second Auckland Bill last September, they made a recommendation that North Rodney be divided from the Super City. And this is the majority of the government enact, and that report said the majority of us recommend amending Clause 18 of the bill to direct the Commission to determine that the northern boundary of Auckland City should be generally based on a line between the mouths of the Puhoi and Makaro rivers, dividing the current Rodney district in two. Now, and went on to say, actually, in that report, that the majority of us believe that the rural northern area of Rodney should then become part of the Kaipara district. So, the people of Rodney, the northern people of Rodney, thought, well, thank goodness, big sigh of relief. They were out of the Super City. And then John Key, our Prime Minister, did a U-turn, a massive U-turn, well, their Prime Minister, and decided almost overnight that Rodney were not going to be part of the Super City. And so they claimed the change. I mean, there was John Key and the Minister, Rodney Hyde, that the change reflected the views of the majority of Rodney district people that Rodney should not be split. Well, Mr Chair, somehow they got the message wrong. I think the phone was off the hook. And that change came through as amendments to the legislation that was debated under urgency last September, and the people of North Rodney had no chance to have their say about what John Key and John Carter and Rodney Hyde said about their change of heart. So the whole saga of Auckland governance, the confused, jumbled and unbelievably undemocratic process has impacted on the people of North Rodney. And this has resulted in widespread anger and action in North Rodney, and action groups being set up, including petitions. They don't sit back and cry. They got organised. A petition with 6,286 signatures came to Parliament, ignored again. Good on them, I say. They're good people. They're people of the land. They're people of rural and coastal communities. They're sincere in their view, and they mistakenly believe that this government will listen to them.
Hyde.
Thank you.